Okay, so as someone who has watched plenty of Destiny and secular talk videos, I wanted to chime in on Kyle's recent response to Destiny's attacks, as well as the take from the Vanguard. It's true that Destiny goes super hard when he goes after people, and he can be overbearing in his debate bro scenarios, so much that it makes me cringe. That said, I have to agree with Destiny's overarching point about Kyle. Kyle repeatedly parrots false, low information talking points, oftentimes talking points that come from the right. This has been my frustration with him. In fact, it's more frustrating with Kyle because I'm convinced that he actually means well and really does want to live in a world where progressive policies are in effect. The Vanguard and Kyle don't actually address Destiny's frustrations. They write it off as Destiny simply fighting against the left, being a contrarian who is entertaining the right. But if you watch his videos, he is mostly lashing out against low information takes, not policies, and the fact that Kyle continues to spread misinformation among his viewership, misinformation that helps the right by fracturing the left. I can't speak for Destiny, but my guess is that if Destiny goes harder on Kyle than on right-wingers, it's because we would just expect the latter to spread misinformation, whereas the expectations for Kyle are a lot higher. But enough of my babbling, let's hear the Vanguard, Kyle, and then a couple of takes from Destiny.
I think he's just a contrarian at this point. I do. I think his whole thing, he hates the left so much that like anything the left does, he's like, I'm against that because the left is doing it. And it's like, okay, I don't fucking care about your contrarianism. It's not interesting. It's really stale. It's really boring. I don't care about it. And he's the guy who, I liked him a lot. And then when I saw him treat me in such bad faith, I was like, why did I ever like this guy? And obviously I never want to talk to him again and never want to be associated with him in any way.
There's a really high demand where like conservatives want to watch a leftist be like, oh my God, the Democrats are so crazy now. I used to be a Democrat and now they're so fucking crazy, because it kind of reinforces all of their beliefs and they can like cognitively jerk themselves off to it. And it makes them feel good. And it makes them feel like they're rational, even though they're watching a fucking crazy person on, you know, One American News Network. They have somebody like Destiny who could, you know, talk about how, oh my God, all these liberals are triggered by everything. I agree with these people and even I can't stand them, blah, blah. It just like, if you're like really entrenched in all that, I feel like it just reinforces your worldview. So you're like, see, even the Democrats think these people are crazy. And I think he just found out that that's a cash cow.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely accurate, 100%. And generally, yeah, it just...
Okay. And now let's hear some of Destiny's responses to Kyle's takes.
Okay.
Is going to show you exactly how not to respond to a rogue President Trump who's offering people more money.
And now he's saying that he's going to veto it. There is some nuance to it with him saying that he wants a larger size payment to the American people, which is something that Democrats argued for at every step of the process. And now House Democrats say, okay, well, if that's what he wants, we'll provide him with that. I wonder just what you make of this very last minute scramble of what we thought was going to proceed here with this relief bill.
I kept thinking tonight, well, these pardons are an attack on our very democracy. This is an attack on every American.
She says this is an attack on all American?
So this guy's thing is, Amy Klobuchar just wanted MSNBC to call raising the stimulus to $2,000 per person an attack on every American and suggest Congress override Trump's veto. Well, I wonder what Amy Klobuchar actually said. Let's listen.
And now he's saying that he's going to veto it. There is some nuance to it with him saying that he wants a larger size payment to the American people, which is something that Democrats argued for at every step of the process. And now House Democrats say, okay, well, if that's what he wants, we'll provide him with that. I wonder just what you make of this very last minute scramble of what we thought.
Trump is trying to do the right thing, but the Democrats will stall him out until...
Wrong, and you're stupid as fuck. If Trump wanted to do the right thing, Trump has had 4 years to do it. Trump has had 70-some years of his life to do the right thing, and he's never made that choice. He doesn't give a fuck about you, and you should know that. It's obvious. He's a fucking billionaire that he inherited his fucking wealth. He never fucking cared about you. All he's done is cut more in taxes for people like me than people like you even make an income. That's it. Trump never gave a fuck about you, and he helped people like me more than he'll ever help anybody like you or anybody that you know, okay? You're delusional. But get high off that fucking Trump Kool-Aid, because I made a lot of money for the past 4 years at least. Fucking moron.
Thought was going to proceed here with this relief bill.
I kept thinking tonight, well, these pardons are an attack on our very democracy. This is an attack on every American. people who are struggling to get by right now, out of work, the unemployment is going to basically end the day after Christmas if this doesn't pass. People who are out of work, people who need the help. The vaccine distribution, Rachel, is in this $30 billion. These vaccines are not going to just parachute into a small town in the middle of Minnesota. We need the help for the states to get the vaccines out. And he is literally undermining our entire effort on testing and vaccine distribution. This was a hard-fought negotiation. Of course, you're right. Democrats were pushing for more funds for the individual payments. But in the end, this was a negotiation. And he knows very well we're reaching the end here with the unemployment, with our small businesses can't take it anymore. One Yelp study early in the year showed we were having 800 small businesses close a day. And there's over $300 billion to help small businesses in this bill. It is the second biggest stimulus in the history of America. And for him to turn this down, obviously we have the votes to override his veto in the houses. We have those votes. But he should not be doing this right now when his own Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin, was involved in the negotiations from beginning to end. He is literally trying to burn this country down on his way out, as I said at the beginning.
Imagine being such a fucking idiot that you think that Trump is just going to give the thumbs up to a stimulus that all else equal is just $2,000 per person. Like, how stupid are you? Like, you're just as bad as any cum-guzzling dipshit fuck Republican that is just fucking worshiping Daddy Trump. You're just as stupid as every single one of them. Like, you might have even bought the propaganda harder than they did. I never thought I would see people on the left eating up fucking Republican propaganda. Unbelievable. And look at all these dipshit, 15,000 likes. Look at the people eating this up. Amazing optics for the Dems to very publicly fight for less money. How stupid.
What an adult. What an adult in the room, being serious and reasonable and rational. What a victory for bipartisanship.
Trump did not suggest raising the stimulus from $600 to $2,000. Okay? Fuck off with that bullshit. Trump suggested raising the stimulus from $600 to $2,000 and trim unnecessary spending. There is a world of difference between those two suggestions, and you are monumentally fucking stupid. You're running right into the Republican propaganda if you're going to sit there and blame the Democrats for having issues with the revised bill, because that's what Trump wants, right? Trump wants to say, hey, we should raise the stimulus and cut the extra spending. And then when you go to negotiate the bill and they're like, we want to cut this and this and this and this and this, and you're like, wait, hold on, what the fuck? We're not cutting all that. Then you'd be like, look, Democrats are holding up the bill. We wanted to give you $2,000. They're not coming to the table to negotiate. Like, well, hold on, fuck you. One, we already had a bill. And then two, you're trying to make a $2,000 like stimulus now contingent on other budget cuts. Okay? Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Stop being 4 fucking years old. Have a brain. Like, Trump even tweeted this, that he wanted to cut extraneous. Can somebody find the original Trump tweet, actually? Where is the Trump tweet $2,000? Can somebody find the, he even says it in the original tweet.
I am asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple. I'm also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items.
There you go. It's not just an increase. If you thought it was just an increase, I don't even know how I knew this. It must have been like I must have read a quote in a news article. I thought it was a tweet. But like, it's not just an increase in stimulus. Don't be so fucking naive. It's so disgusting to see lefties fall for Republican propaganda. You slurp up Trump's fucking propaganda cum, just like Republicans do. You know better than McConnell or Paul or Ryan or Jeff Sessions or any other dipshit Republican that's high off the fucking Trump Kool-Aid. It's unbelievable. It's crazy to see lefties have like the Republican propaganda is so good. Lefties like slurp that shit up hook, line, and sinker when they're talking about people like Hillary Clinton, when they're talking about people like Barack Obama, when they're talking about people like Nancy Pelosi. As somebody like me that listened to Rush Limbaugh for years, I didn't know I would hear so many of his attacks echoed later on by people that call themselves radical socialists, like unironically socialists, like later on in life. What a mind fuck, dude. Republicans spend their whole lives attacking certain Democrats, accusing them of being socialists who aren't socialists, so that in the future, actual socialists could come on and attack the not socialists that are accused of being socialists by attacks that came from Republicans. Like, what a mind fuck. It's just cheerleading a certain particular candidate.
Man, I want to fix problems. I want to make this country better. If your idea of politics is backroom deals, okay, fine. It is what it is. But the fact that if the field stayed fractured, Bernie Sanders won this race. He won this race. That's something that I can't get over. I cannot get over the fact that the establishment coalesced, spit in the eye of their own damn base, their own Democratic base, progressive base.
They didn't spit in the eye of anybody. If more moderates had more support than Bernie Sanders, who is very left-leaning, had support, then it sounds to me, if anything, coalescing would be recognizing the will of their base rather than playing against it. If 70% of people support moderates and 30% of people support hard progressives, then sounds to me like the will of the base was not for Bernie.
Promise of administration positions. So a corrupt, smoke-filled backroom deal. They also got Beto.
Politicians should never talk to each other, ever. Candidates should never be helped by the party. It's not fair. Everybody should be fighting on their own. You know what he is? Do you know who Kyle Kulinski is right now? Are you ready? Kyle Kulinski right now is the Yasuo player that goes top and fucking feeds. Because 3 people went up to kill him, and then he types into all chat, "Took you 3 ults to kill me, you fucking losers." That's who Kyle Kulinski is right now. Why are you guys working together? It's not fair. Everybody needs to go it alone like I do.
O'Rourke, they trotted him out there to endorse Biden, to help Biden in Texas, and it looks like that actually did help Biden in Texas. The one place Beto's liked is Texas. And that
Does he honest to God think that like Texas was gonna swing Bernie hard, but it was fucking Beto O'Rourke, Beto O'Beta. This guy actually came out and swung the whole fucking state for him. Is that what he thinks?
The establishment and all of the, you know, the behind the scenes movements and chess pieces moving into place. Some people call that politics, and that's fine if that's your perception of politics. Backroom deals, that's fine. My perception of politics is, how do we help the people and how do we fix problems? How do we implement policies that help people? That's my idea of politics, because I'm an outsider. I'm a simple man. I want to fix problems. I want to make this country better. If your idea of politics is backroom deals, okay.
You
fine.
think Beto didn't help? I'm sure Beto O'Rourke helped a little bit, but I don't think Beto O'Rourke was swinging at fucking 5 points or some shit. Like, Jesus Christ.
It is what it is. But the fact that if the field stayed fractured, Bernie Sanders won this race. He won this race.
Sounds to me like you got a pretty shit candidate if you need the opposition split up by 3 or 4 different fucking politicians, my dude.
That's something that I can't get over. I cannot get over the fact that the establishment coalesced, spit in the...
I can't believe it. I thought that every single moderate would split the vote all the way to the convention. And then I thought that once they got to the convention, they would never pledge their delegates to each other, but all of them would literally just fucking fall to their knees and wrestle with one another for first place to suck Bernie off. I can't believe it.
The eye of their own damn base, their own Democratic base, progressive...
The base, by the way, that's overwhelmingly not progressive, by the way. Overwhelmingly not progressive, but...
base. And now they're going to turn around and be like, why don't you vote for our guy? I think our guy's right here, bro. Trump's bad, bro. You're right here, bro. So